We live in a world of constant choices. From the mundane, like what will I watch on TV or eat for dinner, to life-changing choices such as what to study in college or who to marry. Our choices can bring us happiness or frustration. The ultimate choice we will ever have to make is, whom shall we serve? In the first reading, the Israelites are making their way into the Promised Land after 40 long years in the desert and narrowly escaping Egypt. Joshua gathers the chosen people for a historic speech. He recalls how God has faithfully kept his promises and says with all seriousness, "Decide today whom you will serve." Joshua is asking them to consider the most important question in the spiritual life. Whom will you serve? Will it be the Lord or some other concern? Before they cross into the Promised Land, a firm decision must be made and lived. For Joshua, it was clear, "As for me and my household, we shall serve the Lord." Whether we realize it or not, all of us serve something or someone. Our country, our culture, wealth, a career, family, self, the devil, or God. What eats up our attention, time, and priorities? What is our fundamental concern, or where are most of our energy spent? Families, friends, careers, etc. are not bad areas to expend our energy, but they cannot be the absolute center of our lives. Our default answer is God. But is that true? The proof is in the practice. How have we allowed God to radically shape who we are? Concretely, what does serving God look like on a daily basis? If these are difficult to answer, then perhaps we are serving something other than God. The spiritual life is about prioritization, weighing the things in life that bid for our attention. The one calling us to himself is the Good Shepherd, but this involves a commitment and a choice. We have trouble making commitments because something more pleasing might present itself afterward, and then we will feel that we have missed out. Let's be honest. Is there something more pleasing than a relationship with Christ? Of course, holiness involves a commitment and a choice, because so does true love. Venerable Archbishop Fulton Sheen wrote, "All love on this earth involves choice. There is no other real way in which to prove we love a thing than by choosing it in preference to something else. We can prove we love our Lord only by choosing him in preference to anything else." The choice to serve God in the Bible concretely looks like this. Peter, Andrew, James, and John abandoned their nets, boats, fishing career, and even their father to follow Christ. Zacchaeus and Matthew left a lucrative and corrupt life of a tax collector with no excuses. John the Baptist, born into a line of temple priests, left his ancestral vocation that paved the way for Christ, starting with baptism. Paul left his rigid adherence of Judaism and persecution of Christians, become its biggest promoter. Look at how their energy shifted from some former way of life to a radically different path towards God. Being ready to serve God means, can you accept the fact that God's will for our life brings us true happiness? Fulton Sheen put his finger on the paradox we live with. Man wants to be free to choose between various kinds of happiness, but he does not want to be free from happiness. He wishes to be its slave. Biblically, God gives us freedom to choose him. True happiness involves a choice to love one thing, and in Jesus' words, to hate or renounce another. Ironically, we look for happiness everywhere, except in the one who created us with a craving for it. The book of Proverbs says, "Happy the one who listens to me, for whoever finds me finds life, and wins favor from the Lord. But those who pass me by do violence to themselves." Soren Kierkegaard, the Danish philosopher, said, "A saint desires one thing." In other words, we find happiness in serving God alone. Joshua asked the chosen people to decide today, before they advanced any further, whom they would serve. St. John Paul II put the same decision before us when he said, "It is Jesus that you seek when you dream of happiness. He is waiting for you when nothing else you find satisfies you. He is the beauty to which you are so attracted. It is He who provoked you with that thirst for fullness that will not let you settle for compromise. It is He who urges you to shed the mask of a false life. It is He who reads in your heart your most genuine choices, the choice that others try to stifle."